What's up guys? Thought I would do another video for you guys this evening. So I wanted to talk a little bit about WWE 2K25. So I've seen a lot of mixed reactions to the game this year. A lot of people talking about the DLCs. Some people are disappointed because there are certain names that weren't included in DLC that people felt should have been. Obviously, I've seen a lot of people saying they would have liked the Hardy Boys to be in the game. Now, I think the problem with the Hard, like them having, I think the problem there. Obviously, we know that I think a lot of people were thinking that they would be in the game because of the partnership that WWE have with TNA. Um, but my only thinking on it is, I can only assume that the reason that that names like the Hardy Boys and Joe Hendry didn't make it into the game this year is because they're not currently under contract with WWE, and I think if I honestly think that if they had actually been under a WWE contract, they probably would have made it into the game. I've seen some people saying that they're saying they think that we could get Joe Hendry in as surprise DLC this year. I don't really know. So that we've got more details about who the celebrity guests are going to be, and it's looking likely to be Travis Scott and KSI. To be honest, it's like you think about it, like who the heck is really going to play as KSI in 2K25? I understand why they've added Travis Scott. It's like you know continuing that trend of having a musical artist appear in the game. We've had Machine Gun Kelly. We've had who else? I don't remember who it was that we had for WWE 2K23, and I remember the one last year. I think it was part. I think if I remember for WWE 2K23, I think it was Post Malone that we had for that one. What was that? What was Post Malone? It was a Post Malone that we had in last year's game. I remember. But I think, to be honest, I think a lot of people are a little bit kind of, peed off about the fact that we've got NBA stars in the game this year. Now, obviously, this kind of reminds me of the whole Pat McAfee show fiasco from last year, obviously, when we had, the infamous Pat McAfee DLC pack for WWE 2K24. That was a DLC pack that nobody had actually asked for. Nobody wanted that in the game. But that was what we were presented with. When DLC lineup came out, we were presented with a Pat McAfee show DLC pack, which no one had asked for. Nobody was going to play with a lot of random guys from the Pat McAfee show in WWE 2K24. The only person that people were really familiar with in that DLC pack was Pat McAfee, of course. Apparently two of the NBA stars we're getting are reported to be Shaq and Tyrese Halliburton. That's not too bad. 'Cause I think so I think a lot of people are probably quite familiar with Shaq and with Tyrese Halliburton. So at least we're not getting too many names that people are not really familiar with. So that's one good thing. But I look at it and I just think to myself, like, why do we need NBA stars in a wrestling game? Like, that's just one of those things that doesn't make sense to me. I know that 2K had the partnership for NBA, of the NBA stuff and everything, but it's like you wouldn't see names like John Cena and The Rock in WWE in flipping NBA. You wouldn't see them as like DLC or whatever for the flipping NBA game. So why would you want to have NBA stars in a wrestling game? I just feel like I would rather have had three more NXT stars or three more legends rather than had three names from NBA, three names from NBA. That to me is the only downside to me with the DLC this year. I am impressed with a lot of the other names that are coming in. At least we're getting Penta, which is good. We're getting, the Motor City Machine Guns, we're getting Jordan Race, we're getting Julia, we're getting Stephanie her, we're getting we're getting Mark Henry, we're getting, Victoria, we're getting Bull Nakano, we're getting So we are getting some big names this year, but I feel like there are names that should have made it in. I feel like Zarya should have made it in. I'm surprised she didn't make it in, actually. Zarya was actually one of the names I did think was going to be in the game. Whether that was, base game or DLC, I wasn't too sure. But I thought she would be part of the game. She'd been with the company since late October last year, so it kind of would have made sense. It's like, kind of doesn't make sense. Because I got Penta in the game, but they didn't get Zarya in the game. And Zarya's been in the company longer than Penta has. Because Penta only came into the company a few months ago in January. You know, but Zarya has been in the company longer than him. She's been in the company since late October. Yeah, she doesn't make it into the game. I don't is there any particular reason why Zarya didn't make the cut for this year's game? Even though she's been with the company since late October, so I'm sure that would have given 2K enough time to have included her as DLC. Because I'm sure she would have made the cut-off point for the DLC, considering she's been in the company since then. I feel like that's the only thing I'm a little bit pissed off with, is that we didn't get Zarya in this year's game, but and obviously we got to wait until next year's. We probably got to wait until next year's 2K26 to play with Zarya. But at least we can rely on community creations in that sense, because we can download them from community creations, and go from there. So that's one good thing at least. But I would have liked to have had her in this DLC anyway. But hey ho, it is what it is. Um, for me, I mean, to be honest, I have enjoyed the game this year. I think. I honestly don't think WWE 2K25 has really been that bad. I mean, I guess you could say it's still kind of the honeymoon period. I mean, we are still not really. We're still, well, around about less than a month. I mean, what did my it was March 7th, wasn't it? So it's almost been a month. Um, So it'll be a month next Monday. So next Monday we'll have obviously we'll mark a month to the day since we had since the day that the early access for obviously those that pre-ordered the Bloodline and Deadman editions. To be honest, I think about the money that they were charging for the Bloodline edition, and it's like, is it really worth the money? I mean, yeah, obviously, when you think about what you're getting with that, you're getting obviously early access, which was a week early access this year. Last year, I think it was only a few days early access. I'm pretty sure we didn't get a week early access last year. So this year, the fact that we got a week's early access wasn't too bad. I feel like it is become pretty obvious though that the people that do pay out the early access are basically beta testers. That's basically what they are. As when the game first launches before obviously it's not fully launched. It kind of feels somewhat beta-ish in a way, but you know, it's, I think they've made a lot of good changes this year. I feel like one of the things that I like this year is at least we've got multiple backstage areas to choose from this year. I do like some of the new match types that have been added in the Bloodline rules match, amongst some of the other decent matches we've had added in. But yeah, I mean, 2K, it's like, I feel like this whole thing with the fact they've added the NBA stars into the game, I feel like that's a bit of a slap in the face, from 2K, and you can tell that they haven't really learned their lesson from the whole Pat McAfee show, Pat fiasco that happened last year, like the last year's game. I mean, obviously, I'm being honest. I don't think there was a single person who asked asked the NBA stars to be included in WWE 2K. Nobody wanted that. That wasn't something that people were screaming out for. If we'd have gotten, as I said, I would rather have gotten 3 more NXT names or 3 more legends rather than having 3 NBA stars in the game. I just feel like that's a bit of a cash grab for 2K. It's like, why, what other reason is there for them giving people giving people DLC that wasn't even asked for, giving people NBA stars. I just feel like I've gotten bored of the NBA stars and celebrities in the wrestling game. Like we don't, I feel like we don't. I mean, I might sound a bit harsh, but I don't feel like we need celebrities or NBA stars in a flipping 2K wrestling game. I would rather I'd rather have had three more legends or three more NXT stars. The only reason I'm actually gonna buy that pack that has the three NBA stars in it is because of the two other names that are in that DLC pack. It'd be quite fun to play as them. If there wasn't any kind of wrestlers in that pack, I would not have bought it. I still feel I still question the fact they bought the Pac-Man Heavy Show DLC pack. I mean, I feel like the only reason I purchased it was because it was free, because obviously I pre-ordered to A24, so I got, obviously, I got all of the DLC for free, so I didn't actually pay any money for that DLC pack. But I kind of feel sorry for those that that did actually pay, however much it was, however much the DLC pack was. It's like people shouldn't have had to pay for that, what was such a crappy DLC pack that no one had even asked for. Nobody even wanted that in the game. It was probably the worst, one of the worst DLC packs we've had for a few years. I feel like the last time we had DLC that was just as bad was WWE 2K20. And I might get a little bit of backlash for saying that because I know that I mean that there might be some people out there who actually liked the WWE 2K20 DLC and actually liked the change in style for the DLC that year. But I really didn't. I felt like there was no need to change up the DLC style. Releasing DLC packs that just absolute garbage. The only decent DLC pack I would rate for that game was the Bump in the Night DLC pack where we got the Fiend. Apart from that, I don't rate any of the other DLC packs for that game. WWE 2K20 was just a garbage game in general. We forgot about that game. That game has been. It's not in anyone's mind. It's not in anyone's mind. It's not a game that people think about or remember too fondly. And it's not hard to see why people don't remember that game too fondly because it was so bad. And I mean, yeah, I feel like the games have gotten better, over time. And, I feel like I mean, yeah, things, are good this year for 2K25, but I feel like there are still some improvements that could be made in certain areas. Um, I'm kind of a little bit confused as to why they've got rid of the most recent tab on community creations this year. But that's been a thing since 2K18, the most recent tab. So I don't know why they got rid of that now. So you have the most, I think it's most downloaded, and I think the other tab is most upvoted. I think that's the other one. Why? But why did they? My guess is my only guess for why they removed the most recent tab is because people were just uploading garbage. Maybe that's why they got rid of it. But yeah, it's a bit of a mystery there, to be honest. I mean, I don't have a problem with them removing stuff, for DLC, wanting to, to be honest, it's just like, that's a good thing, is at least I'm not going to be paying for the pack that has the NBA stars. I mean, if I hadn't pre-ordered it, I would obviously have to pay for the DLC packs, but because I pre-ordered it, I get all of the DLC packs for free, so that's, a good thing. At least I'm not losing any money from paying for DLC pack that was a load of crap. That was a good thing for me last year. At least when I purchased the Pat McAfee Show DLC pack or downloaded that, at least I didn't lose any money from that. At least I didn't lose any money from downloading a DLC pack that was just absolute garbage. I still can't believe 2K released that DLC pack. Like, what were they even thinking? I really thought things would be different this year, but nope. We've got 3 NBA stars this year. Nobody else had any. Nobody else with NBA stars in a wrestling game. From a lot of what I've seen online, people have said they would have preferred, 3 NBA stars, or they would have preferred three more NXT stars, or three more, legends in the game. I feel like there are some NXT names who didn't make it in that probably should have made it in. For example, Izzy Dane, Ariana Grace should have made it in. Zarya should have made it in. Harmon Petrovic, she should have made it in. And I know that, I mean, obviously, some of the men, like, for example, Miles Bourne, he had made it in. I wouldn't have said go as far as like Malik Blade and Idris Enofe, but I would have gone with. I think that I think the three men, like, well, the men that should have made it in from NXT, Miles Bourne, the black guy that's his tag partner, I don't remember his name now, and also Luke Josefino, I think he should have made it in, um, but yeah, other than that, honestly, Tavian Heights, I remember it now, it's Tavian Heights. He should have been in the game this year. Why do we need NBA stars in a flipping 2K wrestling game? Come on, man. That just baffles me. It really does. So I hope you enjoyed this little video anyway, I would give my thoughts on that. I'll see you all for another one soon. Bye.